Hi besties, if this is your first time seeing my face, my name is Wahome, and on this side we talk about women leveling up. If that is something that you'd be interested in, make sure that you subscribe, like, comment and share. Today's video is about how to radiate feminine energy. I have previously done a video on how to be more feminine, and on that video we focused on the physical aspect of femininity, how to look feminine, how to smell feminine, how to clean up and all that good stuff. But if you look like a feminine woman, talk like a feminine woman, act like a feminine woman, but you're not in touch with your femininity, so if you're working on the outside aspect of femininity and you're not working on the inside, you don't feel like a feminine woman, then I feel like it's a facade. You're just acting like a feminine woman, but you're not really a feminine woman. And don't feel bad, it's not your fault. Personally, I've been working on my femininity for the past 3 years. It's not a destination, it's a journey. It's something that we work and improve on a daily. Here are a few tips that you can work on today and just improve your feminine energy and radiate feminine energy, and work on the inner aspect of femininity, of just feeling and being a feminine woman. But first, let's understand what feminine energy is. Feminine energy traits include nurturing love, receiving, compassion, and caring. Feminine energy is the polar opposite of masculinity. So when the masculine energy is all about doing, the feminine energy is all about just being. And I know most women who are not yet feminine and do not embody femininity, they do not fully understand this. They think that the being part of femininity is about doing nothing. Well, it's actually about doing something by not actively participating in doing anything, but by just being. I know it's a bit confusing, but by just being, that is doing something. You just being yourself and being there, that is actually doing something, and not actively participating in other people's business. And one of the ways that you can radiate feminine energy is being at peace. When a woman is at peace, the people around her are at peace. And one of the ways that you can be at peace is understanding and setting the boundary of not meddling in other people's business, just focusing on your own business. Mind your business. And one of the sentences that I want all of you besties to memorize is, "This is not my job. This is not my job." And that sentence, "that is not my job," if you keep it as an affirmation and you keep repeating it to yourself, it will help you avoid a lot of unnecessary dramas. It will also help you mind your business and not meddle in other people's business. For example, when you go on a date and that person proposes that you guys go 50-50, remind yourself, "This is not my job." And sometimes it's us women suggesting that we should go 50-50. Besties, remind yourself that that is not your job. This man has invited you to the date. You should not be going 50-50 with him. That is not your job. You are the prize, bestie. By you just being on that date, that is value enough. That is the price that you'll be paying. Sparing your time, getting ready, getting your makeup on, getting that good dress and going to that date, that is your price. When someone says go 50-50, remind yourself that is not your job. Another example is when you have a pick-me bestie or a family member and you keep advising them, "Don't do this with that guy, stop dating that guy," and she still goes back to his broke, abusive, disrespectful man. The next time she comes to ask you for advice, please remind yourself, that is not my job. And I am a victim of this. If you follow me on TikTok, you know that I'm a mindset coach. I love advising people. I love helping people change their mindsets. So I find myself giving unsolicited advices, especially with my people that I love, my friends and my family members. But I have learned not to be giving this unsolicited advice. Even if they ask for it, I have learned, and I always remind myself as an affirmation, this is not my job. When my friend who is a pick-me or my family member comes to tell me, "Oh, I need this advice," and at the back of my mind, I know that this is not the first time or the second time I have given her advice and she has ignored it. And sometimes they even go ahead to tell their boyfriends that you are the one advising them to leave them or to do this and this, please remind yourself this is not your job. Mind your business and drink your water. Another example is when us lady feel the need to fix or change a man. Bestie, you cannot change or fix someone. They have to take an active role and be the ones dictating on how they will change, on what they will do to address the things that they need to change. But if you keep trying to change and fix men, your heart will be broken. You will not be at peace. If you're dating someone or you're in a relationship with someone and you keep telling them to change or to improve on a few things and they're not doing something, they're just ignoring it, remind yourself it is not your job to fix them. If they say that they really want to change but they are unable to, let them go to therapy, let them book coaches, let them go and get professional help. But that is not your job, because when you keep meddling in other people's business, it takes away your peace. You are never at peace. You're always thinking and doing things, trying to help people, trying to fix people, trying to please people. Do not be around people who do not find your worth. If you have to please people, if you have to remind people of your worth, then you are around the wrong people. Another thing to radiate feminine energy is to embrace gender roles. I know we live in a world where women have been empowered and we are able to go out there, fend for ourselves, take care of our needs, pay for our bills. I also take care of myself. But it is very important to embrace gender roles. And some women believe in 50-50 and they say they do it and they don't care and they're independent, they're educated, they have high paying jobs and they cannot allow a man to take care of them. If that works for you, then good. Besties, if you want to radiate feminine energy, never go 50-50 with a man. It is never 50-50 when it comes to gender roles. You will go 50-50 on the bills, but when it comes to other roles like taking care of the home, nurturing the kids, giving birth, breastfeeding, who will be doing that? So the burden will be on you and this will stress you. You will not be able to thrive in your femininity. You will even get old. And besties, I want you to conduct this research. Look at the women who keep claiming that they can never allow a man to take care of them. If they have to be in a relationship, they have to go 50-50 with a man. Look at those women very carefully. You will find those women, they do not thrive. Those women look older. Those women are stressed. Even if they do not admit it, you will see women who are in their feminine energy and they are thriving. They do not even look their age. They look way, way younger. If someone wants to go 50-50, let them go find a woman who shares similar values and marry them. And I know sometimes, especially in this economy, maybe the men that we have in our lives cannot be able to go 100% in taking care of us. If he cannot be able to do that, at least go 80-20 or I don't know, some 70-30 or something, although 70-30 is still low. Maybe 80-20, at least he will still be providing for you. But if you go 50-50, you will start even resenting the man. You will be bitter. You will be very stressed. You'll be like living with a roommate. That will not be your husband. And if a man, you're going 50-50 with him, how is he the head of the family? The bare minimum when it comes to gender roles is to provide. He has to be able to provide for you. That way you'll be able to thrive in your femininity, you'll be in peace, you'll be able to embrace less doing and more being. Because besties, when you pick tasks such as advising people who do not even take your advice, pleasing people, carrying the burden of the friendship, carrying the burden of a relationship, you do not thrive. If you're in a friendship where you feel that you're drained, just know that you're doing a lot in that friendship. Maybe you're the one reaching out each time, maybe you're the one planning dates, you're the one paying for those dates, you're doing too much. That's why you feel drained. Just take a few steps back. Stop the doing. Just embrace just being. Just being. By just being, you're worth more by just being. You don't have to do a lot to prove your worth. And I know I keep saying just being, and some of you will be like, what do you mean? I'll give you an example of how a woman by just existing and being brings a lot of value and worth. First, I want to say, bestie, by you just existing, you bring a lot of worth and value. Just being yourself, you are enough. Just being the person you are, the woman you are enough, and you bring a lot of value. When a man marries, by just being around a woman, by just marrying a wife, he gains a lot of status in the society. If you're very keen, I know you'll agree with me that when a man is single, he dresses very badly, most of them at least, eats very poorly, and very few women are able to be with that man. He's even not financially stable. But once he gets married, once he's in a stable relationship with a woman, with a feminine woman, that man starts to dress better. That man starts to have a good body. That man starts smelling nice. That man starts attracting a lot of women. That's why you find when you are dating your boyfriend, when you are not serious with him, he didn't have any DMs. But once you marry him, or you are now in a serious relationship with him, you will find a lot of DMs. Women will be approaching him because they literally become more valuable in the society. And in African traditions, if a man has not married, he won't even be allowed to speak in front of others. He won't even be allowed to share meals with the fellow men. He won't even be recognized as a man. And in some traditions, when he dies, I think they say there's a specific place where they bury him. And there's certain customary events that they do to men who had not married and didn't have any kids. So you literally add a lot of status to that man. He gets even more opportunities. He becomes stable. Most stable men are the married. You know why? Because the woman provides the motivation. The woman provides an environment where he feels motivated to want to do better, to want to provide better for the woman, to provide for the woman. And we all know, as within, so without. So if he feels that he needs to provide for this woman a better life, he starts working more. He's more aware of the opportunities around him. So he starts embracing more opportunities, and the money starts coming in. He starts to become financially stable. He starts looking good. He starts dressing better, and you just elevate that man. Another example is when you're dating a man, even before he marries you, when you're dating him, you give him bragging rights. Have you ever seen a woman showing a man's photo and saying, oh, I've hit that, oh, I went to a date with that man? It's always the men. Most of the time, it's always the men. I know there are exceptions when a woman maybe goes on a date with a celebrity, but just normal people, it's normally the men bragging to his friends. You know that woman? I've been on a date with her. I have hit her. You are giving him bragging rights. You are letting him brag to his friends. You see, I can be able to bag a beautiful woman. I can be able to get a date with a beautiful woman. And then after giving him all those bragging rights, you want to tell me you will go on that date and still go 50-50? Besties, let's know our worth and value. By just being there, just minding your business and thriving, you bring a lot of worth and value. And I know in the world that we live in today, you cannot just be in your feminine energy. You have to balance. Some of us work, so you have to be in your masculine energy when at work, when you're doing things, because there's a lot of competition even in the corporate world. You have to embrace a little bit of your masculinity, but it is also important to actively nurture your feminine side so that you can have that balance, so that you can be able to, not just be like a man. And that way, even in the corporate world, you have an added advantage over the men. And this is the way to do it. Your feminine energy will even help you getting those promotions and those things, because we are in the energy of receiving. So you receive the opportunities. And this is what I'll leave you with, besties. Let us learn to do less and just be. Let us be in our feminine energy.